Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again, and I am here today. Today is actually my off day, and I kind of screwed up this one. It's really funny because yesterday I had a really, really good day. I got a good amount of work done at home, but it really felt like an off day. It felt like a good day, like a day where I got to relax, enjoy myself. And then today was my real off day, and for some reason, I don't know, I just felt really bored today. It was really kind of gloomy out. I really hate those kinds of days where it's like gloomy outside and there's just like nothing going on, and so I was like trying to like find things to do, and then I ended up doing like work, and then I was like, you know what? I have one movie to watch to finish up 2025 movies. I am getting that done. So I forced myself through this movie. I'm not going to reveal what it is because it would reveal where it is on this list. Well, let's just get started because I think 2025 was a pretty terrible year for movies. It is probably, the best of list is going to be shocking because there's hardly anything good. There's maybe two movies that are good, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, but nothing more than 6 or 7 or maybe 8 or 9 or maybe at most 10. So maybe there's a top 10, but other than that, the movies were horrible. And I'm not going to just pretend like they're good because they have big actors in them or because they have a big franchise attached to it. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to pretend like, oh yeah, that was really good. No, I'm going to say what I think. Because you know why? Because I go back now, I watch old movies, even movies from the 90s, from the 40s, from the 50s. And, not all of them are good, but there's a lot of them that are actually really, really good. And it just kind of seems like, okay, that was a movie. That was a good movie. That was a real movie. But nowadays, it just feels like everything sucks. And, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. It's really embarrassing, to be honest, because a lot of these movies, they could be good movies. They had potential, except there were some in the bad list that did not have any potential because there's nothing good about those. But there were a lot where they could have been good. And for some reason, the writing is the biggest problem. Besides the Sex Police, writing is the biggest problem of all of cinema. It is the number one thing. And of course, Sex Police, AI, and probably CGI and bad color grading. All of those things are the reasons why movies suck nowadays. And I guess you could say agenda storytelling. So anyways, I'm going to kind of breeze through these dishonorable mentions because I don't want this video to be too long because I have a little headache because the weather is changing again. And unfortunately, when the weather changes, I get a headache when I'm in Ohio, where I live. For some reason, I go to other states and I don't have any problems. I don't have any allergies. I never get headaches. But I get a headache when the weather changes in Ohio. So, I had the misfortune of watching this last movie with a headache for the full 2 hours. The headache did not influence the movie because the headache came on as the movie went on. And because I just hated it so fucking much. I can't wait to trash it. But anyways, Lilo and Stitch, wow, that was unnecessary, and it was trash. I mean, they end the movie with, the sister, Lilo, the person in the title, they end the movie with her being handed over to the state, and it's framed as a good thing so that the sister can go to college, the Nani, so that Nani can go to college and be a strong, independent woman. And then, I Know What You Did Last Summer. You know what? This movie has actually aged quite well, because out of all the bad movies on this list, I would watch I Know What You Did Last Summer again. It's a fun movie. It feels like the person who made it was a fan of the series, but it was also kind of a bad agenda movie. It was kind of bad. It was just kind of bad, but at the same time, it was so much better than all these other terrible movies. But still, it was a very hateful agenda movie. The movie ends with the character saying, all of this could have prevented if men went to therapy. And it's really funny because it's like, well, wait a second. One of the killers in this movie is a woman. So how could that have prevented her from killing people? I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Megan 2.0, this movie was doomed from the very beginning because nobody wanted to see an action sci-fi sequel to Megan 1. We wanted to see a horror movie. We wanted to see them actually try to make a good horror movie after the first one was so bad. But instead, they sidestepped, and it was really bad. Next up is Presents. This was just a giant piece of shit, and it had a great idea of, what if there was a whole movie in the perspective of a ghost? And the only ghost, I feel like probably when this movie played in theaters, it was nothing but ghosts in the theaters, because nobody wanted to go see this boring trash. And it didn't have anything unique about it. I feel like if I made a movie about a ghost in the perspective of a ghost, it would have been so much more interesting. This was so boring. Next up is The Gorge. This is just straight to streaming slop. It actually started off pretty good. The idea was kind of interesting, but it quickly turned into a video game type of movie, and I did not like it at all. Next up is the Toxic Avenger remake. For some reason, they decided to make this an agenda movie. There's a lot of CGI violence, and there's pretty much nothing about this movie that's good. There's no nudity, which is a huge part of the original movie and all the Troma movies. So it's a very modernized, agenda-filled piece of shit movie. Next up is Keeper. This was a stupid, boring art house, movie. Next up I told you guys I would be brief. Next up is Elio. Even if they made this kid gay, the movie still would have been trash, because there was nothing here. There was nothing here that was good. The story was stupid. There was nothing really original about this story that made me think that, oh yeah, that was a really good movie. And I gave it a chance, too. I gave this movie a chance. And it just sucked. It sucked all the way through. And there was this big controversy about, they originally wanted him to be a gay kid. And it's yeah, that wouldn't have fixed this bad movie. Next up is Good Boy. This is another wasted concept movie where the whole idea was it was in the perspective of a dog, the whole movie. Well, unfortunately, all the characters sucked. And instead of being a horror story, it was a really depressing, I don't even know what to call it, about this main guy who had a chronic illness and he was going to die in a couple of weeks. And it's wow, what a great movie to watch. Next up is the last dishonorable mention, which is 28 years later. This was a complete disappointment. It was a huge, huge disappointment after looking forward to this because they shot it on iPhones. People actually try to use that as like an insult nowadays. Like it used to be like, they said, oh, well, we want everyone to make movies. If you want to make a movie, just shoot it on your phone. And then for some reason, if people other than people in Hollywood do it and shoot movies on their phone, people, throw out insults, which is really, really weird because nobody criticized this movie for being shot on an iPhone. So I just find that funny how that works. They only criticize indie filmmakers. They don't criticize the big Hollywood studios when they shoot on an iPhone. And besides that, this movie, it felt like 5 or 6 different movies shoved into one. It really fell apart after the first act where it was about the father and son story. And it became like this stupid drama about like this mom who had a terminal illness again and this other shit. And it didn't even feel like a complete story. The ending was stupid. And it just was a giant waste of time. It just was a big pile of trash. So now we're going to get to the top 10 worst movies of 2025. And I'm not going to be nice, guys. I'm mad. I just want to watch a good movie. I don't think that that's too much to ask for, I just watched yesterday, I want to say this really quickly, just so that you guys know that I like something. Yesterday, I watched an episode of It, Welcome to Derry, and I loved it. I'm over halfway through the season, and I really can't wait to finish that because it's really, really, really good. I've been enjoying every single episode and wondered, why did I not review this and I reviewed that stupid Alien Earth series instead? Because Welcome to Derry is one of the best things about 2025, surprisingly. Like, if that was a movie, it would be the best movie of the year. So, yeah. So, number 10 is Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro. Now, I'm going to get this right out in the open. I am a little biased because I am making my own Frankenstein movie. So, I was like, okay, well, I want to see a good, Frankenstein movie. I want to see what this guy can do. And, in typical Del Toro fashion, he is all style and no substance. This movie is abysmal in terms of story and characters. The acting is terrible except for the monster, and it's just a giant, pretentious, bloated slog. And the only thing that's really quote-unquote good about this movie is the cinematography, the costume design, and the set design. But even then, you're just really grasping at straws because you're grasping in the trash. I forgot about this, but I tried to get Safi to watch the movie. She turned it off about halfway through because it's just so bad. And it's such a disappointment because, and this is the thing that I'm trying to do with my version, is it feels like this story has been done to death. And wouldn't it be nice to tell a Frankenstein story, but to do something new with it? Because I feel like if Mary Shelley was alive nowadays, she would want people to do something new. She would want people to try to do something different. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And so I know that I'm biased, but I admit it, so fuck off. Number 9 is Honey Don't. This is probably the worst agenda movie of 2025. It is just a flat-out man-hating agenda movie from beginning to end. I don't know what the fuck it was, to be honest. Like, I wish I didn't even watch it because it's just so bad. It's a movie that thinks it's funny, and it's written by someone who is probably one of those people who laughs at their own jokes and nobody else laughs. That's really what it came off as. It just was complete dog shit. And the main character, she's so unlikable and garbage. It's really interesting because in all these, like, and I know that this is going to sound really hateful, but I really don't give a fuck. But in all these modern movies with a lesbian lead character, for some reason, there has to be, like, multiple scenes where she tells all the male characters that she's not interested in them. And it's like, you know, you never see that in, like, gay movies, like, with gay main characters. Like, there's never a scene in, like, because I've seen some gay movies that are really, really good. Like, I've seen, no, actually, they weren't really good. They were just okay. But there was a movie called Ragtag on Tubi that a guy recommended me. And then there was one called, I can't remember, Urbania or something. And in those movies, you know, I don't have a problem with the sexual orientation thing, except for when you use it as an agenda to spread man-hating feminazi garbage. And that's what this movie did. But in gay movies, like, you never see a scene where there's, like, a gay guy who tells a woman that, like, hey, I'm not interested in you. But for some reason, in every single, like, lesbian lead movie, there has to be a scene like that. And it just feels like, why? Is it because it's disingenuous? And because it's not really about, you know, wanting to love who you want to love, but it's about hating on men. That's what it's about. And so, fuck that. Fuck this movie. Fuck the people who made it. Fuck all of them. Next up, number 8. I'm going to make a lot of friends with this video. Sorry, guys. I hope you guys appreciate the honesty. You know, I'm not going to be like Chris Stuckman up in here, you know. Hey, guys, I'm Chris Stuckman. That movie was really good. Here's a gambling ad, by the way. If you kids want to go to this gambling website and start gambling while you're still 10 years old, I'm Chris Stuckman. You want to get Stuckmanized? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. No, I'm not no fucking Chris Stuckman in this bitch. Number 8 is Sinners. Oh my god. That was my last movie of 2025. That's how I fucking ended my 2025. Let me tell you, this movie is complete and utter trash. And let me tell you why. Because when I watch a movie, I like for a movie to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And for some reason, in modern film schools, they skip the plot structure lesson in filmmaking class. They tell you about Sex Police. They tell you how to make the movies look quote-unquote realistic with the color grading. They tell you about all this shit, but they don't tell you, okay, class has begun. A movie is like a story, and a story has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Sinners has one long turd. It's just a long piece of shit. And it has like 10 different endings. I mean, it was getting in the credits. I was like, thank God that's over. And then it came back on. I was like, oh God, no. What the hell was this? And then it went back to the credits. And then it came on again for like 10 whole minutes. I was like, oh my God. When the fuck is this thing gonna end? And then I thought, okay, that scene was actually pretty good. And then it went back to the credits. And I was like, it's like when you haven't got, it's like when you hold your pee You really got to go to the bathroom and you finally get to take a piss and you're like, ah, oh. And then guess what, guys? Guess fucking what? At the very, very end of the credits, boom, it comes back on. I was like, oh, shit. You know, it was like when the vampires came into town. It's like, oh, no. And I was like, wow, this movie really had like 20 different endings. Like, it's like fucking Lord of the Rings up in this shit. And let's talk about the characters, because there were no characters in this movie. The characters were trash. I did not like the characters. I did not care about the characters. Michael B. Jordan did a bad job playing two characters, and I'm saying that as someone who, I support actors playing multiple characters. I could not really tell these brothers apart. I know how that sounds. I could not tell the main twin brothers apart. It just kind of felt like Michael B. Jordan in two different color suits. And it's so funny because this movie really could have been like a good, fun party vampire movie. And look, guys, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if you come up in here and say, fuck you. I'm like the biggest vampire fan of like all time. I'm a huge vampire fan. My favorite movie of all time is Fright Night. My second favorite movie of all time is The Lost Boys. My third favorite movie of all time is the Fright Night remake. I am a huge vampire guy. I'm the guy to go to, like, if I want to see the vampires. And let me tell you something about this movie. This movie is a shitty vampire movie. The story, there is basically no story at all. It's like, okay, you got these two twin brothers, they open up a music place to hang out and party at night, and then, of course, vampires come and stuff. Like, there is no plot. I feel like this has been done before this movie. This movie has been done, and it's been done in many different forms, like where you have one location and you have a bunch of bad guys come and you have to fight them off. And, you know, I'll just use the example of Assault on Precinct 13, which was John Carpenter's first movie. That movie was incredible. It is an all-timer, fantastic movie. The soundtrack is fantastic. Everything about that movie is so incredible. And you really feel the weight of death in that movie, of the deaths of the characters. You feel for the characters. You know all the different characters really well. And the main character is black, by the way. The main character, so just so that you guys don't say that I'm racist for not liking Sinners, because I know that that's what's going to happen. You know, because that happened when Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture. I mean, why the fuck was this movie nominated for Best Picture? Because there weren't any good movies that came out in 2025. That's why. You know, at least Black Panther was actually pretty decent, and it had, like, you know, characters in it. It had good acting. This movie, basically all it had was, like, some good music and good cinematography. But when it got to the fighting of the vampires, that's only like 10 minutes of the movie. And the fighting, it was terrible. It was so badly done. It was just like watching, it was just complete chaos. You know, it wasn't well shot. It was like, it was so just fake and muddy. Like, just complete muddy in terms of just slamming all these characters together to where it's like, okay, I can't tell what's going on here until they show these close-ups of certain characters getting killed or bitten, whatever. So it really, really just was a giant mess. And to be honest, I really don't know what the point of the movie was other than to make money. So that's my take on Sinners. I fucking hated it. Okay, number 7 is Captain America: Brave New World. This movie was like reshot so many times that it became like a Frankenstein monster of a movie. Falcon is trying to pretend to be Captain America. He's not Captain America at all. And then they had like an Israeli Black Widow who was like a midget, and she was so unattractive. And, of course, they didn't have any of the sex element of that. Which that's the whole point of Black Widow's character, is that she's a spy who uses her sex to kill people, to get information and to kill. But over here we have this really stupid, boring feminazi character. And this whole movie is, of course, an agenda movie. They spoiled it in the trailers. They showed that Red Hulk was going to be in it. It was just a big disaster, this movie. Number 6 is Death of a Unicorn. Jenna Overrated Ortega and Paul Rudd, they made a terrible duo. And this movie is supposed to be like some kind of a commentary on pharmaceutical drugs, but it really was just a big giant sleeping pill. And it was not funny. It was not good at all. It was terrible. Jenna's character, she was like a stupid, like modern stereotype. She had the nose ring. She had the Gen Z haircut. And it just like everything about this movie sucked. And then at the end, of course, I won't spoil that, but it just sucked. It was really, really bad. And I'm starting to see like these articles saying like, oh my God, you guys missed this really underrated Jenna Ortega movie. And it's like, no, that movie is not underrated. It's just a big piece of shit. Number 5 is Snow White. Need I say more? Fuck that movie up the you-know-what. Well, up all the different holes. And number 4 is Highest to Lowest. This movie was actually really sad for me because I was really excited to see Denzel Washington, and I thought that the story sounded interesting. But apparently this is a remake of like a 1970s movie, and it was really, really bad. The music was terrible, and the villain, he was so unlikable and annoying. And besides that, Denzel Washington's performance, he really phoned it in. And I can't remember. The movie was bad. It was all over the place. The story structure was bad. It was very slow. But I was very thankful to review it because I felt like I got a lot of nice subscribers who, they knew what was going on with this movie. It was terrible. Oh, yeah, and they gave Ice Spice, that untalented whore, Ice Spice, they gave her a job to act in this movie. So that's like, that is honestly, like, worse than, like, firing a nuclear bomb on a country, is, like, giving Ice Spice an acting opportunity. I'd rather give Ice Spice like a push off a cliff, like she's the worst, she's trash. Number 3 is Desert Fiends. This is the newest endeavor, the newest film of Chauncey Phillips, cool duder. He makes terrible films, if you can even call them films. And it's just all the movies that he makes are just bad because it doesn't feel like there's any actual artistic integrity or effort put into them. It just feels like he's throwing shit together. He actually has it to where you can pay to be in his movies, pay to be a producer, etc., etc. And it just feels like a scrapbook of shit. And in this movie, there's like 100 different characters. It's basically a ripoff of Hills Have Eyes, but the bad guys, they have like different genitals attached to their head. So there's one guy, he's got a penis on his head. There's one who has a pussy on her head. And it's like, what the fuck was that? Like, It's just, and it's sad because I used to be a huge supporter of Cool Duder. He was a big inspiration to me as a kid. So it was really disappointing when he turned out to be the scam artist that he turned out to be. He's a complete fraud. He's a complete failure. His filmmaking career is just in the toilet. He will never recover from this shit. And he's happy with it too, because people pay to be in these movies. You can pay $500 if you would like your YouTube channel to get a shout out in the movie. Like, hey everybody, you like this really piece of shit 1 out of 10 star fuck movie? You should check out Safi and Marco dish out on the movies. And you know why this guy's a big piece of shit? Because back in 2020, I donated to a film that still hasn't come out. And you know what else is bad? He changed the plot of the movie in the middle of his crowdfunding campaign, which is what I would call fraud. He advertised the movie as a movie about a college slasher movie. It was like a callback to Scream. That's the movie that I thought that I was donating to. I gave him like $70 to $100 fucking dollars to this fuck. This fuck. And he changed the plot. This little fucking dweeb changed the plot to it's a slasher at a cheerleading camp. And then he changed the title into Cheer Bloody Murder. This is what you call a fraudster and a scam artist. And good Lord, he got Tom Arnold to be in this movie. Tom Arnold has a whole subplot where he talks about toilet paper with Cool Duder. And yeah, this fucking movie is fucking toilet paper. I'd like to fucking get a fucking free ass fucking Walmart bargain bin fucking DVD and fucking use that as fucking toilet paper, so fucking help me God. Okay, number 2. Speaking of number 2s. Number 2 is Hurry Up Tomorrow. I just feel like I want to hurry up and get this review done because I fucking hate the movies of 2025. You got The Weeknd thinking he can act, and he sucks. And besides that, though, that's not really the main issue. I mean, it is the main issue because he's garbage. He didn't even have the balls to direct his own movie. If he wanted to star in it, but he didn't even direct it. Like, what a pussy-ass bitch The Weeknd is. Or should I say Abel. Because his real name is Abel. Sounds like a fucking escaped mental asylum patient from the fucking 70s. And then you got Jenna Ortega. She does the Jenna Ortega thing throughout this whole movie. She's constipated the whole time. She's got the same look on her face. She's got nothing going on in this movie. So this is her second movie that I have on this fucking list. And let me tell you something. It's not going to get any better from here for her. And the big problem with this movie, though, is that it has no story. It has no plot. It is like Sinners, except it's even worse. But Sinners is like a masterpiece compared to this movie, though. I will say that. I'm not totally delusional. But this movie, Hurry Up Tomorrow, this was really just a giant advertisement for his shitty music, which I never want to buy. He seems like he thinks he's Michael Jackson, but he's never going to get there. He's garbage. Michael Jackson would piss on this guy's face for fucking free. So number 1 is Winter, Spring, Summer, or Fall. Jenna Overrated Ortega's third movie of 2025. And let me tell you something about this movie. This movie is a fucking pile of fuck. It is a fucking pile of fuck. You got Xavier from Wednesday thinking he can act. And he is paired up with Jenna Ortega. They have no chemistry whatsoever. The movie is just a giant embarrassment. It is like, this is what they think. You know, Gen Z are a bunch of pussies. Gen Z thinks that sex is uncomfortable. Gen Z can't even drink beer. Listen, I don't like beer, but I'll drink a beer, okay? Like, I've had beer. I'll drink anything. I'll drink fucking anything except for blood, because I'm not a fucking vampire. Okay, well, actually, I did eat some ants as a kid, because I was putting on a performance. But that's a different... I was at a summer camp where they said if you killed a bug, you had to eat it. And so I took it a little too literally, and I scared the shit out of this one kid. And the kid probably still has nightmares about it to this day. I probably could have been on Fear Factor as a kid. But anyways, this is the Gen Z version of romance. There's a part in this movie where the main characters, you know, they had a misunderstanding. They had a little breakup. You know, it's the same old rom-com, chick flick bullshit. And the guy, he is such a little nutless beta bitch, that he posts a selfie on his social media where he's making this, like, pussy face. He's making a face like, I'm so sad because Jenna Ortega broke up with me. Woo-hoo! And it's like, oh my god, this is what modern Gen Z romance is in movies. You got this fucking guy, he's such a little bitch. He posts a selfie on social media. I'm gonna mope and brood because I'm Xavier from Wednesday. And let me tell you something too, because this Xavier from Wednesday, he is the worst fucking part of Wednesday season 1. And he continues to be the worst thing about anything that he's in, except for Whistle, which is so far the worst movie, or second worst movie, of 2026. Congratulations, Xavier. You graduated one place on the fucking list. So anyways, Xavier, what's really interesting about this is that, so far as I know, nobody likes the kids that did Columbine. Nobody likes those two guys and all the others that, you know, help them out that they don't talk about. Nobody likes Dylan Klebold. Well, for some reason, the woman who made this movie thought, you know what? I want Dylan Klebold to be the main love interest of my movie. He's going to be the main character. And it is so creepy, because this Xavier guy, he looks exactly like Dylan Klebold throughout this entire movie, and it is so weird that, like, anyone would think, like, ugh, like, you know, like, cut his hair, do something, because we don't want the audience to think that we're glorifying Dylan Klebold, that fucking twerpy fuck, that blonde twerpy dweeb. You know, we don't want people, but Jenna Overrated Ortega gets with Dylan Klebold in this movie. And the story, you know, it's winter, spring, summer, and fall, because that takes you through the course of their relationship, their Gen Z relationship. This is so bad. I hate every single fucking thing about this movie. You know, it is the worst movie of 2025. And with that being said, unfortunately, Jenna, you are in 3 out of the 10 worst movies of 2025. So you probably should get a new agent, probably start taking some more acting lessons, and, you know, or maybe just stick to Wednesday, maybe then retire, hit the convention scene, you know, because it's not really working anymore, you know. And Xavier, you know, at least he knows his place, you know. He's in, like, the shitty Whistle movie, you know, he's trashing that, but he's the only good thing about that movie, but he's still trash because he's Xavier from Wednesday. But yeah, so anyways. that's what I think about the top 10 worst movies of 2025. And yeah, if you guys like this video, please like, comment, if you're not too upset, and then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more honest reviews, because I am going to be honest on this channel, whether it upsets you or you disagree. Look, Sinners was bad, and I wanted to like it. I was looking forward to it. In fact, what I really wanted to do is I wanted to go see it in IMAX, but I've had an issue with going to the movie theaters and getting headaches and getting allergy headaches and anxiety, and so I had to watch it at home, unfortunately. But I was really looking forward to it. I love vampire movies, so it really disappointed me. And yeah. And then if you would like to support this channel even further, please check out our Patreon page. It has a ton of bonus content, a ton of shit that you will never see on the YouTube channel for free. A ton of bonus videos, rankings, full unedited spoiler movie reviews, TV reviews. The list goes on. So anyways, goodbye everybody. See you soon, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.